Have you noticed that when you stare at your fingers long enough, they start to turn into weird limbs right before your eyes? The same goes for the rest of our traits. We think that funny things make us better. But with a little reflection, these behaviors seem really weird, strange things we do all the time. One. Left or right hand use. Take another look at your hands. You have two of them, so why do you tend to use only one? Whether you are left or right-handed, the fact that you have a dominant hand at all is a bit strange according to scientists. After all, having hands with excellent motor skills would be a real boon for humans. One theory as to why people are dominant relates to the way the brain processes speech. The theory goes that the left hemisphere is more complex than the right hemisphere. The left hemisphere also happens to control the right side of the body. It is possible that the extra wiring in this part of the brain is behind the dominance of the right side of the body in right-handed people. However, researchers have found that not all right-handers have speech centers residing in the left hemisphere. In other words, this theory may not be correct. However, there are many other theories that can help explain the behavior of the human hand. 2. Lying. Here's a lesson you've probably learned on many occasions. People lie, we do it for many reasons. But everyone lies sometimes, and we'd lie if we said we knew why. The truth is, scientists aren't sure why humans lie. But they do know that lying is common and that it's likely related to several psychological factors. Among these factors is self-esteem. According to Robert Feldman, a psychologist at the University of Massachusetts. Feldman, who studies the reasons behind human deception, has found that when a person's self-esteem is threatened, they will immediately start lying at higher levels. We're not so much trying to impress other people as we are trying to keep a view of ourselves in line with how they would like it to be. Feldman told Live Science in 2006. Situations are easier. This might mean telling a lie to avoid hurting someone else's feelings or to avoid conflict. But lies, making something up or falsifying information, often happen when people are trying to avoid punishment or embarrassment. According to William Ernest, assistant professor of communication at St. Edward's University in Austin. 3. Love surgeries. In 2015, Americans spent more than $13.5 billion on surgical and non-surgical cosmetic procedures, according to the American Society for Plastic Surgery. That's a lot of nibbling and stomping. Why do humans feel the need to alter their bodies through surgical procedures or permanent decoration, such as tattoos and piercings? Scientists think the answer is very simple. People believe that plastic surgery and other cosmetic procedures will make them look better and therefore feel better. There's this idea that if you look better, you'll be happier, said psychologist Diana Zuckerman, president of the National Research Center for Women and Families. You'll feel better about yourself, and it makes a lot of sense, because we live in a society where people care about what you look like. However, some physical changes, especially plastic surgery, don't necessarily make you appear more attractive to others. According to a study published in JAMA Facial Plastic Surgery in 2013. 4. Gossip. If you are like most humans, you've probably been to at least one end of the grapevine a few times. Like it or not, gossip is part of everyday life. In fact, scientists speculate that gossip may bring us and humans closer together. Robin Dunbar, a primatologist at the University of Oxford in the UK, likens gossip to the constant grooming of other monkeys. Baboons pick insects by hairs on each other's backs. We humans talk about others behind their backs. According to Dunbar, it is the verbal glue that keeps our social bonds strong. Other researchers, such as Jennifer Bozon, a professor of psychology at the University of South Florida, Agree that sharing our distaste for others helps develop a bond between the gossip and the listener. 5. Forgetting. Forgetting tidbits of information isn't weird at all. But forgetting facts you really should know, like why you walked into a room, or your child's name, is definitely a bit weird, and yet so-called concussions happen a lot to us humans, according to researchers. Many things can cause your memory to lag, and the most common culprits are stress and sleep deprivation. But you don't have to go through a difficult period of forgetting important things. According to a study published in the Quarterly Journal of Experimental Psychology in 2011, something as simple as opening a door can trigger a fart in the brain. Lots of other random things can also cause your brain to experience microwaves in memory recall, including spinning frames and shadows. 6. You get bored. Everyone gets bored sometimes. But if you really think about it, feelings of boredom are very strange. After all, there is such a wide world full of things to do. How could humans lack something to keep us busy? It turns out that boredom isn't about staying busy. Boredom stems from an objective lack of neural arousal, leading to a subjective psychological state of dissatisfaction, frustration, or disinterest, according to researchers who study this yawning subject. And some people are more prone to boredom than others. People with conditions that affect their ability to pay attention, such as ADHD, may be more prone to boredom. According to a study published in Perspectives on Psychological Science in 2012, age may also play a role in determining a person's susceptibility to boredom. Researchers have found that people who are nearing the end of adulthood around the age of 22 may be less likely to be bored than teenagers of adulthood around the age of 22 may be less likely to be bored than teenagers in that age group. The frontal cortex is in the final stages of maturation, and this part of the brain helps with self-control and self-regulation, said James Dankert, a professor of cognitive neuroscience at the University of Waterloo in Ontario. 7. Think of death. Have you ever thought about death? If you answered no to this question, then you are not like most people, for whom thoughts of death and death are very common and very normal. According to Balan Keesber, an assistant scientist and psychologist, while obsessing with one's own mortality is not necessarily normal. As humans, we tend to think about our own death or the death of our loved ones from time to time. People may think a lot about death because of our evolved brains. Our minds make us painfully aware of inevitable death, and this awareness runs counter to our biological desire to live. Keesber said, adding that this obsessive meditation causes anxiety for some, while for others it may be a source of enormous clarity and wisdom. 8. Do bad things to us. Cigarette smoking, heavy drinking, and drug use are all bad for us. Yet putting these self-destructive behaviors aside can be a real chore. Why is it so difficult for people to give up their bad habits? Scientists list many reasons why we don't always know what we know is good for us.